All right, guys, we are back in the driveway once again to do another diesel heater for you. Should be the last one. I thank you for indulging me on these. They all sent them to me at the same time, and they're all trying to get them in, before Black Fridays and Cyber Mondays, and you know, it's the gift giving and gift buying season. So they're trying to get them out and maximize their exposure. So thank you very much for putting up with it. What we brought today is Hcalory sent us out another unit. So it's more of a like a 5,000 watt unit, not the 8,000 like the big guy is, the big brother here. I have to admit, I'm pretty impressed with the quality of it. And the whole unit's very heavy, metal latches. Even this guy over here has plastic latches. Everything's tucked in there nice and neat. It's like that. It's a 5 liter tank, not a 6 liter like on this one. So what is it, 1.3 gallons or so? Like I said, but it is supposed to be a little less, not less efficient, but less powerful. So it's going to be more efficient with the 5 liters. It's actually marketed in such a way to run it indoors, have the unit indoors, and basically just pipe out the exhaust. It doesn't have the standard air filter coming in, the extra hose with the little filter on it. Doesn't have that. Supposedly that helps prevent clogging on the intake. So take that for what it's worth. And then it does come with the standard issue items, the hoses, the cords, the exhaust. Obviously if you were going to run it indoors, you'd have to pipe this out a window or something. But here's our DC cord again, and I'll tell you, just the cords alone are such better quality than some of the other stuff, and they're done up nice. They got the ends on them. This is 1224 volts again, this unit. It also has the AC power brick again, which is, I've only known the Hcalories to have them, and I think that's great because, sometimes I don't want to have to haul around 12-volt battery. I'd rather just plug it in to the power station through the 110, which eliminates, so many issues, So it's, I think on this particular unit, it would heat an area up to like 265 square feet. This one is closer to like 215. So it's for smaller spaces. The exhaust comes out the side on this one instead of on the ends, which is different. The control unit is right here on top. Very simple, embedded right there. It's going to be able to run on the app as usual. So I mean, let's not mess around with this guy anymore. Let's get some fuel in it and let's run it up and see what it does. I'll tell you, the sun is brutal right now. So it does have the sight window here. We did put a little bit of diesel in here. Having the nozzle inside like this is a little more cumbersome about spilling, because then you kind of worry about overrunning diesel fuel inside here. No, you don't want that. But again, it's very similar to the last one. Again, the only ones I've seen that has this, filter for putting in the fuel. So, and now I've got diesel on my hands, so never get that off. They'll get it off at my funeral. Yeah, see, I did. I spilled a little bit down the side inside there, so not a fan of that. This is, our output nozzle. We'll get this guy on here just like this, just because we'll get our board underneath here, so we don't burn anything on the bed, and we'll just let it burn the wood if necessary. So I'll get the power station. I'll get another paper towel and kind of clean up some more of this gunk, and we're going to plug her into 110. We're going to let her rip, tater chip. Guess we'll go ahead and get it on here like this. Turn it where I can see the exhaust. Like that, and so can you. Get off our cover here. I'll tell you, I haven't owned any of these more expensive, what I'm describing as higher quality units, because they are. And I'm pretty impressed with them so far. Now I know there's some out there that you can spend buku dollaros on, and I'm sure they're built well. I know a lot of them are American made and things like that, but I feel like the components on the inside are probably all coming overseas anyway. So I think it just boils down to, who puts the fancy schmancy package on it, and then, and then you have the people that specifically will not buy Chinese. They'll only buy American made. I get that, totally get that. All right, so this is brutal. We'll see how well we can see the control panel. We'll probably have to add this to the app right out the gate, just because of the way it's angled. It's the same as before. It says it sees 13 volts, and we're running off the 110 side, so we're good. Okay, just on she goes. It defaulted to 5, H5. Same scenario from the other video. If you haven't seen that one, we'll put it up here. It's got 10 settings, and there's an LED bar, and each new block lights up as you go along. So we'll let it do its pre-warm up, pump up, prime itself, using 114 watts right now. So it's warming up those glow plugs. Just moving a little bit of air. Diesel fuel, and I swear you get that stuff on anything and it just takes forever to come off. That and 90 weight oil. All right, we'll let it sit. We'll let it do its thing. Yep, and we already got a little bit of smoke. I zoomed you in. You might be able to see it. I mean, like I said, they're all the same. So there's just how well they package them. And so far that I've been exposed to, these two Hcalorys are outstanding packaged. I mean, they're rigid. The components fit right. They don't feel like they're going to fall apart on you. Super impressed. Now, they're expensive. We've talked about that. They're a little bit on the expensive side. Oh, by the way, this one is like $50, maybe $60, cheaper than this guy. But they've got specials going. I'll have the links in there for you. Like I said, and they have their place, so they're form factors. And, if I was doing a big old, let's just canvas tent. I have a canvas tent. I have a 14 by 16 canvas tent back there. If I was going to not take a wood stove, I'd take this guy for sure, because I just know it would just crank out so much heat. Actually, I'd probably take them both, put one on each end. Still less room and less weight than that wood stove. That wood stove weighs a ton. It has we talked about it before, I think. It has the altitude mode. It has timers that you can set, pre-programmers. You can set it to, if you're going to go to bed at 8, you can set it to go at 7, kick on, heat up your tent or heat up whatever. If you're going to go out and work in your shop, you can have it start heating up an hour or two before you get out there. It's just, it's bringing these things to a whole new level. All right, well, we had a little change of plans. The unit threw a power error running off that little 500 Jackery, so I brought this guy out. I don't know if the inverter or something in that little guy. I've never tried to run either of these off that. I ran this one in the mountains off the EcoFlows, and it ran just fine. So we'll just grab this Blue Eddy here, get it connected up. I was wondering why all of a sudden the noise stopped and it was going quiet, and I was like, what's going on here? We'll let it start back over again. I'll bring you back when it gets interesting. All right, we're back to making some smoke. Now we've got some warmth coming out of here. Okay, now she's running. Okay, so can we address the big idiot in the room? This guy? So that error code was not power, because it did it again on the Blue Eddy. And I'm like, I don't understand. Maybe it's a defective unit. And so, they send such a nice instruction booklet, heaven forbid I looked it up the first time. I just figured it was power, because I always have a power issue. And then it kept talking about a boost failure. And then as you read through the description, it's talking about the oil pump, this, that, and the other. And then I realized that they call the fuel pump in these things. They call them oil pumps. And so I was like, did I not put enough fuel in there? Because I just put a little bit in. And sure enough, open it up. The pickup is over on this side, and it's completely in the air. You know, so there's no fuel getting to it whatsoever. And I'm like, come on. So added a bunch more fuel to it. Put it back on the Hcalory. It's running just fine. So I was probably just freaking out because it kept running out of fuel. Oh, there you go. That's hot, nice and hot. So I'm going to take this guy just because it's so loud. Ooh, yeah, man, that gets hot. Hot, hot, hot. You can see the difference. Now you put that little muffler on there, done. Now, also on these, because this one doesn't have an intake that you could actually, you know, redirect. Like I'll do it. I'll actually tuck it over behind something, you know, so it's kind of protected. Because sometimes these things will burp up some smoke. And then if the wind is wrong, it'll blow it right into the intake and it fills up your tent with exhaust. Had it happen twice. And especially a lot of times too, if it's in a snowstorm, I had it happen because it was really still. You know, the stuff was just coming down. And it just managed to float up just right and get into the intake and woke me up. I was like, what is that? Carbon monoxide didn't go off, but it was just like I could smell it. Yeah, now we're working like a champ. Yeah, you know, so you might want to try putting gas in these things, diesel fuel. I don't want to get lambasted for calling it gas. Oh, and it's in a yellow container. So we'll let that burn in for a while. Just want that heat exchanger. We got it up to 103, 104. I've got it max right now. I'll run it max for just a little bit, and then I'll turn it down about halfway. Actually, if I was smart, I'd turn it down right now. Just to let it run at a decent temperature. Make sure it's still making heat, though. So we'll do a couple quick temperature checks for you. This turn right here is probably going to be the hottest because it's in a bend, and you can see the different discoloration. So it definitely gets hotter right there. Got 380 degrees. Halfway down, 220, 200 at the muffler, and then this is reading about 220 degrees in there. It's hot. Yeah, see, that's only 250 over 300. So it goes to tell you, wherever you have a sharp bend there, it's probably going to get much hotter. So maybe the bends should be more of a sweeping bend. This one came off that Beaver one, so it has to be a sharp bend because the exhaust port is from the bottom. So Hcalory, if you're listening, I did another review on a different heater, and they actually provided an exhaust sleeve that went over the exhaust pipe, temperature controlling, you know, so that you could probably touch it, you know, or get real close to touching it with that on there. I'm sure it's fiberglass and things like that, but I know they don't cost a whole lot. They can't cost too much, and so we're already charging a premium for these guys. You know, that would be nice to add in there, but that's just my 2 cents. And if you notice too, on these, I can feel the pump going, and I can hear it if I'm real close to it. But the pumps on these Hcalory seem to be maybe a little higher quality or a different brand or something, because they don't really make the loud tick, tick, tick. They make a tick, tick, tick. So this one, you wouldn't even hear it. With this noise right here, you wouldn't even hear this if it was indoors. The ticking. All you hear is the white noise. So there's no heat anywhere back here on the back side, but there is some heat right here, and I'm going to guess it's because of the exhaust is just reflecting heat up into this metal, and so it's just radiating the heat. It's not hot. All right, so she's in full swing here. I've got her probably at 7. Turn down a little bit more. 7.6 on here, and we are using 36 watts. So 10 hours is going to use 360 watts. All right, one last set of numbers here and measurements. I've taken it down to as low as it'll go. It's on 1. And that's about how I use it, because in my rooftop tent, that'll run you out of there. I have to open a window way up, not just for ventilation purposes, just because it gets hot. It's a 4-season tent though, so if I was running this, for example, in my Gazelle tent, because it has the mesh top, I'd probably have to crank it up a little bit more. But at its current state, it is literally using 12 watts, and it's bouncing around between 10, 12, 14. So won't drink hardly anything. I know the temps have gone down because I checked them. So this temperature here now is 180 degrees. Halfway down, 135 and 110 at the muffler. And right there where it touches everything, yeah, 145. So it's still the hottest part right here, 185. But you can hear the ticking. You can hear it a little bit more because there's nowhere near as much noise coming out of here. But these things are great if you don't have one. I mean, I'm assuming you're in the market for one, possibly, is why you're watching these videos. So far, I can say I really like this brand just for a lot of the things that I rattled off. I haven't had a chance to use them any kind of long term, but I will use them here in a couple weeks. We'll be gone for 4 days. So if there's any negative feedback on them, I'll be sure to let you know, because a lot of this stuff that we're doing here is I'm just unboxing it, kind of showing you how it works. There's no real long-term, review. I just opened it, so if you want some long-term reviews, let me know, put it in the comments, because I have a lot of this stuff now that I've been using for a year, 2, 3 years. Upcoming, I have a 3-year review on my Ice Crow fridge, and a spoiler alert, I've got a new fridge. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for indulging me on all of these. But anyway, let me know maybe in the comments too if you have any interest in me, for example, doing one of the best gear of 2024, the things I bought in 2024 that I would buy again tomorrow, in a heartbeat. Well, it's still 2024, but I'd buy again next year in a heartbeat. If you want to see something like that, put that down in the comment. But don't forget, remember, like, subscribe, do all these things. It really helps the algorithm. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you decide to purchase from this particular brand, you can use the link that I put down in the description. I think you save a little bit. I get a little bit. Here's what it is. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching these. And we will catch you on the next video. I do want to interject one more thing. Sorry. As I'm cleaning all this up, these things cool down super fast. I can touch that now. And it's literally been 2 minutes since I signed off with you. So, yeah. Anyway, take that for what it's worth. So, the reason why I say this is because you could very easily now just toss this into your car and go. So, it's not like you're having to wait, for an hour for this thing to cool down in the morning. Get up, make your coffee, turn this thing off. By the time you're done with coffee, this thing's cool and you're off to the races. Anyway.